Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final mini class Pivot and Profit Moving On and Leveling Up in 2021. I am so glad you're here. I am Julia Kelleher, Nikon ambassador and owner of Jewel Images Portrait Design here in Bend, Oregon, and also the creator of the 5 Carat Collective, which is an online mastermind membership for photographers. Anyway, I am so glad that you're here today. We are going to be talking all about changing things for 2021. Obviously, we've had some great news this week with the announcement that Pfizer's vaccine is 90% effective. So that is giving me a lot of hope for 2021. But I do know that it's still going to be some time before everything is back to normal, so to speak. And that means actually opportunity for us as photographers, creatives, and business owners, and a chance for you to change things in 2021 and make it a little bit different and better. And it gives you the chance to do what you love with your business and make changes now when things in the world are changing to begin with. It's always beneficial to change when the rest of the world needs it rather than, kind of in those time slots when clients don't expect you to change, I guess is the way to put it. So everybody is expected to change and pivot. And the question is, how do we do it effectively? How do we do it and make money? How do we do it and stay alive and stay in business? And I think that's the key thing we're going to talk about today. So I'm going to share my screen. Tell me where you're from before I do that. I'd love to find out everybody's. Let me get my comments up here. I'd love to find out where everybody's from. Courtney Rentkofer's here. Hello, my friend. How are you? Um, yeah, I love hearing where everyone's from. I have a little bit of a delay on my system, so it takes a minute for everybody's comments to come up. But if you would love to tell me where you're from, what you specialize in, what you're hoping to get out of 2021, that's what I truly want to hear because I want to help you do that. Lucy's from Hawaii. Katrina, morning, Julia from New Zealand. Hello, Katrina. It is so good to see you. I'm sure it's probably, let's see, is it late night for you? It's got to be pushing it. And then, of course, Kathleen's from Warrenton, Oregon. It's rainy here too, Kathleen. My studio is like flooding. I think that's why I feel a little bit challenged today because I walked in. We have this huge winter storm happening. Granted, there's sunshine now, but um, it was just windy and messy overnight. Of course, my roof is really old, and so we have leaks everywhere. It's just, ugh, you know how that is. But Christy from Newfoundland. Allison from the UK and a new 5cc member. Welcome, Allison. I'm so glad you're with us. I'm excited to see you at our meet and greet. Blanca from Belgium, in Belgium from California. I love this. Louisa from London. Amity from Missoula. Jennifer, Colorado Springs. Cheryl, California. Yes, for Katrina, it is early morning on Saturday. It's noon for me, I guess. Anyway, Northern Maine, Justine, welcome. Gina from the Finger Lakes region of New York State. I went to Syracuse University. I know where all that is. Fresno, Kelly, and then, of course, Max is here from one of my 5cc members. She's from the Los Angeles area. Welcome, Max. And Jennifer as well from Los Angeles, and Annie is from Texas. I love it. Thanks for contributing, everyone. So South Africa. Wow, I love those kind of. This is Helen. That's amazing. What time is it over there in South Africa? It's got to be what, 9 or 10 hours ahead. It's kind of my thought. Anyway, let's go ahead and share screen and get right to it today. Pivot and profit, moving on and leveling up your business in 2021. I'm so glad you're here. I can't wait to do this mini class to help you at least start thinking about where you want to go in 2021 and how we can make them different, I guess is what I'm saying. I know it feels like the pandemic and the way the economy is, like it has control over us, but really, you guys, we have full control over this. So you're in the right place today if 2020 kind of threw your business for a tailspin. You're trying to break into new markets here. Hang on one second. My keynotes are being covered by my beautiful, I just got to move everything out of the way. There we go. Awesome. You're trying to see, where the market's changing, but it's a challenge. You need a strategy for leveling up in 2021. You want things to get better. You're tired of things going along as they are in 2020, and you're burnout, and your motivation might be a little bit in the tank. This year has had a nagging stress to us, and it's tough to shake because it's this ongoing current of stress. And if that's been happening to you this year, then you're in the right place. You're also in the right place if you're not sure what's next for your business. You may have a loose plan for 2021, but you need help implementing. And finally, you need a strategy that in 2021 that will actually like make a difference and change things. And guys, when I say change things, it means you have to change too. You have to be willing to take a risk. And if there's anything I want to drive home today, it's let me ask you this. Are you willing and ready to take a risk on yourself and your business? You might as well now. You've got nothing to lose. We're in the middle of a pandemic, and you could make such a difference in your year next year if you just took the risk. So during this entire mini class, I want you to ask yourself, am I ready to take a risk and do some brave things next year? So, this is me. I'm a mom, business owner. I specialize in custom design, family portraiture, and of course, marketing and business education for photographers. I have my studio in Bend, Oregon. That's my little boy in that float frame there. I'm also a Nikon ambassador. This is my studio, and today you're going to discover quite a few things in this mini fast class. You're going to discover the consumer mindset and today's market shift. Things have changed. Audiences have changed. Ideal clients have changed in the way they think and operate. And I want to enlighten you with some of those facts. We're going to learn 3 ways to pivot that you can use to change your business in 2021. How to up-level your profits without shocking your clients. And you know I mean raise your prices, but I want to talk to you a little bit more in depth about it and help you see it a little differently so that when you do raise your prices, you're raising them confidently and not scared that people won't pay it. Number 4, shift your mindset and kick your scattered and unmotivated head to the curb. I have been so unmotivated in 2020. It's been tough. I've gone through these like spurts where I'm, yes, let's do it. And then other days I'm just like, no, please. So, we need to shift that and change things. And when we change things in our head, it has a marvelous consequence of changing things in our lives too. And number 5, why Solopreneur Syndrome is killing your business. How many of you actually like go at this alone? You're in business by yourself. I am for the most part. With my portrait business, I have very little help. Beth comes in to assist me on sessions. My niece does my editing of my images, basic edits, and then I do final. But she's not here. She's off at college in Utah. And then I have Tiffany, who comes in maybe a couple hours a month to process orders. Like, Tiffany does not come in that often. Like, we're kind of talking about maybe she's so busy with homeschooling that we might, kind of let her do her thing. But she does help me a little bit, but not very much. I mean, 9 times out of 10, like literally 35 hours out of 40, I am alone here in the studio, other than Beth coming in once in a while, because Beth has her own job. So yeah, I mean, Christina says she's all by herself. It's hard to do this stuff by yourself. Good grief. Sometimes it's just this. I think that's what contributes to that lack of motivation too. Like, you get lonely and like you have to make these decisions on your own. And God love my husband. He's fabulous, but he's just not good at helping me with decisions. All right, let's get into number 1, consumer mindset and today's market shift. Well, first of all, the pandemic has changed the way the world operates economically just in a matter of few weeks, right? It basically happened in March, April. What it did is it widened the gap between low middle income families and high income families. So basically, on all non-essential business shut down, right? Manufacturing, that kind of thing. So people who didn't have savings, people who weren't ready to weather a storm, in other words, low and middle income families really struggled. As a matter of fact, some of you may be in that middle income bracket and you're struggling now. But what happened is the wealthy got wealthier. So the middle income families lost jobs, pulled back, reduced income, have to homeschool. Sometimes it's now just one parent working while the other one's staying home. But higher income families hired help, and they were able to keep doing what they wanted to do and keep investing. And then, of course, people with savings, whenever the economy crashes, the luxury market, people who are in that market, they shift their financial decisions and they start buying it because they know when they purchase real estate, when they purchase stock, when they purchase investments at lower price, they know it's going to go back up. So these people with savings started purchasing and then making more money from that. So the rich essentially are getting richer. And the middle class is shrinking and getting slowly falling because it's struggling right now because of the pandemic. Now, will it shift? Of course. Once things get a little bit more back to normal, another year or two, and I think that this will change. But like I said, it's an opportunity for us to change as businesses if we can wrap our head around what's happening in macroeconomics and happening in the business world, and then mold to that. Okay, at least use it to our advantage. So the other thing with consumer mindset, and even with middle income families, home has become this refuge, this safe haven, right? Because that's where we are allowed to fully be ourselves. We don't have to wear masks. We don't have to socially distance. It's our quarantine crew, our pod of people whom we are around. So the house industry, or anything that is needed for the home to make the home more comfortable, it's a record year for those businesses. People want their homes improved since they have to stay there, all right? So, for example, you guys all know I moved into my new house. We've been building a house for about 2 years, and we just moved in last weekend. And about a month ago, we were ordering a hot tub, or maybe 2 months ago. We were ordering a hot tub because we had one in our old house. We love it, and we're like, it was like 15 years old and falling apart. So we said, okay, we'll just get a new one at we'll just get a new one at the new house. And so we went to go order one, and it's like May before we're going to be able to get one. And they're like, well, manufacturing slowed down and demand is like 200% what it was because people are putting in pools, they're putting in hot tubs, they're furnishing their homes. So wealthy people are coming in and buying things to make home more comfortable. They're finally remodeling games, home theater systems, home technology, all of that. The demand is huge for it. So think about that in terms of us. What do we do, or what can we do to a client's home? We can make it even more beautiful with pictures of their family, showing their pod, their crew, and the love they have. Like, we have the ability as family and portrait photographers to capitalize on this home industry if we approach it right and change our businesses to model this. So keep in mind, the wealthy, those who have gained this year, they are still spending big because prices are dropping, because the rest of the world can't afford it. So I want you to think about home, and it really is your inner circle. It's your life's love. People are working from home now. Home offices are huge. What can we as photographers do to capitalize on that market? We can tap into this shifting marketplace and thrive using it, okay? But the question is, how, right? Well, here's the kind of pivotal moment in this mini class. If you're focusing on the middle to lower income ideal client, you especially need to change, because right now that group of people are having a hard time affording things. And what that means is, and for the most part, not all, but if I am to stereotype and kind of generalize, folks who are doing digital files only at a lower price, you guys need to shift and change. Otherwise, you're going to struggle. You're going to be on that struggle bus big time. If you can break out of that shell and target more the higher end client, raise prices, and do things a little differently that focuses on the home, you're going to be able to change things in 2021 for the better. You're going to make more money, fewer clients, have tangible product in your studio, and be better off. So number 2 today is looking at those 3 ways to pivot that will change your business next year. So if you convert to a product or service-based model, this will help tremendously. High-end clients have no time but plenty of money, so they buy time. Think about it. Everybody has 24 hours in a day, right? You and me, everybody. And if I have no money, I am willing to spend time to make something the way I want it, right? Well, if I have money, I may not have a lot of time, but I can buy more time with my money. Okay. So that's what the wealthy do. They hire people to help them and they use their money to make money, if that makes sense. So converting to a service or product based model means you will handhold or help your client get time. In other words, you're going to take care of everything for them. A done for you business model that is based on service and product rather than, quote, DIY. So clients in this target ideal expect to pay more for better services and better products. Now remember, adding these services into your studio means things like designing for your clients, designing a product for a specific place in their home, getting some interior design training, getting graphic design training. And that's what this whole Facebook group is about. It's about teaching you to do that and leveling that up and teaching you to see how you can make a difference in your clients' lives by actually doing this for them. Pre-planning, consultations, tangible products, in-person assistance, wardrobe consultations, installation of art. All of this is high-level service that lower-end clients don't expect, okay? Especially at a low price point. So go back to last week here in the Facebook group where we talked about perfecting your product line. We had the free product line challenge. There's a workbook to download there with step-by-step tasks to help you build a tangible product line for your business. You can start off small. It doesn't have to be in depth. Keep it simple at first. I always recommend that because it makes things easier. Keep it simple now, get fancy later. So, number 2 is price yourself into the luxury market. Okay? What does that mean? It means when you price things in a certain way, you place yourself into a certain market or ideal client. And this is a silly analogy, but it's kind of like wine, buying wine. So, I'll go into Costco and I'll want some wine. And I'm usually a $2 chuck kind of girl. I want the I want the cheap stuff, but I still want it to be good, right? Well, if it's a special occasion or I have a lot of money, but I don't know a lot about wine, I'm going to buy the most expensive bottle because to me, the most expensive bottle means it's the best, right? So it's the same thing. Pricing places you, when your prices are high, people think you're the best, okay? Higher end clients look at pricing as a measure of quality and service. Cheap prices mean poor quality in their mindset. So they will avoid you completely because they think it's too cheap. Another example. So I'm on the hunt for a coffee table. And I look at all kinds of sites. And granted, I love restoration hardware, but I really can't afford restoration hardware. So I'm trying to find like a knockoff, right? So I go to Wayfair and I go to, All Modern, and I'll see a coffee table for like 150, $200. And I'm like, oh, what's wrong with it? It's pretty, but what's wrong with it? There's something wrong with it. It's too cheap. Okay? But then I see something that's kind of more on the expensive side, like just slightly out of my budget. I'm like, oh gosh, that's so pretty. Oh, I could probably stretch to do that. You know what I mean? So I automatically think that the one that's a more expensive is gonna be higher quality and built better because usually it is, right? So think about that. For them to want to pay more, though, you have to stand out and be unique in your area. It's the same thing with me shopping for that dang coffee table. If I see 2 coffee tables that look almost exactly the same, but one's cheaper, I'm probably going to go for the cheaper one, right? Right? So if it's not unique, I'm not going to go for it. If it's unique and stands out and is different and is a little bit more expensive, that's when I go, ooh, that's what I really want. That's what I really want. Okay. I did it with my sofa. I really, of course, wanted the cloud sofa from Restoration Hardware, but I again couldn't afford it. And so, but then I saw another sofa on a different website that again was out of my budget, but I fell in love with it. I tried to find it everywhere. I did image searches and back searches and tried to figure out who manufactured this sofa to see if I could find it cheaper somewhere else. I could not. I looked for 2 months. Finally, and then of course it was out of stock. So on the site that I was looking at, it was out of stock, and it said, just put your email in here to it said here, I'll put my camera on so you guys can actually see me bigger. So it said to put in your email address if you wanted to get notification when it came back in stock. So on 2 occasions, I got the email, and by the like within 15 minutes, by the time I got to the site ready to spend that money on it, it was gone. There was no more left, and I had to type in my email again and wait again another month. Okay. Well, finally, right before Halloween, or maybe it was, yeah, right before Halloween, I jumped on the website because I was looking for something like a dish towel or something. And I go, I'll just go see if that sofa is available. I'll just go check it out. Lo and behold, it was in stock. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, I clicked buy. And I spent a ridiculous amount of money on a sofa because number one, it was unique. Number two, I knew it was quality because it was expensive. And number three, it was hard to get. So I was like, yes, doing it, done. And I'm so excited to get my damn sofa. So you have to understand buying mentality. And so when you price yourself in a specific way to a specific market, it makes a big difference in how your product is perceived. So pricing places you. Higher end clients look at pricing as a measure of quality and service, but you have to be unique and stand out. So clients will insist on lower prices if they see that what they're purchasing is just simply a commodity. And what does a commodity mean? A commodity means you can get it anywhere. It's a commonplace item. It doesn't really stand out. You can get it everywhere, so why pay the highest price? Especially if the brand isn't really well known, who cares? Just get it and get the lowest price. Clients think about that exact same thing with photography, especially with the shoot and burners. So that's why there's so much competition at the low end on price. You see these, I'm in some of these mom groups in my area just to kind of keep my finger on the pulse of what's happening, and they'll be like, "I'm looking for a reasonably priced photographer." I just laugh. And there's all these recommendations and all these photographers chiming in going, "Oh, I have mini sessions going on right now for $150." Yada 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 freaking yada, right? Okay. So I look at that and I kind of giggle and laugh because I'm certainly not going to put my name in that ring because I am so not that client. There's like 50, 60 different recommendations. And I'm sitting here going, they're all the same. They are all the same. The only way these girls, who most of them are women, family photographers, I shouldn't say these girls because, some of them are men, but most of them are women. And I sit here and, the only reason that they might actually get the job is because they get a referral from a friend of a friend. And the friend says, "Oh, Susie Q Photography, she's so nice. She treated us so good. We really liked her." They might get the job off of that. But if there were no referrals and they were all just lining up at the same price, the same imagery, the same yada, you're going to pick the lowest price, right? So ask yourself, what could those 50 photographers listed on that Facebook post do to make themselves look different enough to want to spend more? Makes you think, doesn't it? You have to add services into your business model. Design, printing, installation, expertise, authority, etc. Now, the question I always get is, Julia, do you sell or not sell the digital files? Excuse me, frog in my throat. I do sell them, but with good reason and with careful consideration. So files pad my cost of goods so that the overall Create a Collection sales is more profitable. I average about a 10 to 15% cost of good. The industry standard is like 25 or 30%. No, not in my book. To me, more profit, better. So I look for things that are low cost. And the digital files help me do that. Offering the files also makes it easier to book the client since this is a product they think they want. Clients make digital files on their own. That's how they do it with their cameras, their phones. Okay, so that's what they know. And so what they know is what they want. That's why they always ask, how much are your digital files? We get that question every day, okay? It lowers the barrier to entry to book me if they know they can get what they want. Now, are they going to get art too? You betcha. But I know they're going to get what they want, so it makes it easier for me to book them. And they find it easier to book because they know they're going to get what they want. Finally, my clients leave the ordering appointment with all their files, a downloadable product. This makes it unlikely that they'll change their order or back out after the fact, thanks to my tight policies. So when they leave the ordering appointment with their files, that's a downloadable product. They sign for them and everything, and once they do that, order's final and they can't go back. So this is how my pricing model works to entice them to do this. So it's called Create a Collection, and they simply choose signature art. There's 2 steps, and signature art can be album or wall art, and this begins at $325. And then the second step is to choose their digital files. They get them all. It's just a matter of if they want high resolution or low resolution files, okay? So this pricing model earns me an average sale of almost $2,000 per client. I get to sell tangible art. They get to have the files. The starting price point for this, you can see, is $920. So that's my minimum rock bottom Create a Collection price, okay? Do I have a la carte options? Yes, I do, but they're extremely undesirable because it's only a few files, and the clients can't say no to the files. So they decide to go with Create a Collection because to them that means they're getting the most bang for their buck and all their images on USB. The beauty of Create a Collection is it's no set packages. In other words, it's not like a firing off of a menu. It's a customized price list so the client can create custom products and have custom work. It's basically a la carte with rules is all it is, which kind of lends itself to a more luxury high-end feel in my business. Plus, it's extremely flexible for the client and it's incentivized for profit. So if they purchase the large files, they get free gifts. There's things that make them want to spend more, but yet at the same time, it's still a flexible pricing option to give the client only what they want and need and nothing more and nothing less. All right, let's talk about number 3. When you're up leveling and jumping from, say, for example, a digital model to a product model, you're going to have a gap, okay? And this is what everybody fears. They fear losing their clients. And what you can do is pivot into commercial work to bridge the gap. And I am actually doing this, and it's working brilliantly. So adding a new specialty in an area that badly needs photography can inject life into your creativity and your bottom line. So let's think about this. The only way to truly market right now is online. I mean, yeah, we can market in person, but relationships with pandemic, it's tough to work with in-person relationships. So every business in the world right now is online, right? They need to stand out. They need visual content. So you can shoot commercial work for businesses to help them market. You can start off doing it very low priced or complimentary or portfolio building, and then graduate into selling it. So product photography, lay flats, web images, social media content, environmental portraits, brand shoots. Work with these vendors to develop relationships with them doing this for them, especially the high-end businesses around town that you think share your ideal client. This is when you do something amazing for them. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, we want to work with you. You're amazing. Let's help get you clients. And that's where it becomes a trade-off. You're helping them with their images. They're helping you get more clients. Clients who are eager to fill their home right now with beauty, with love, with their family, their safe haven. People are doing that like crazy now. And so it's up to us to tap into that. And this is a great way to do that. Even tap into some of those home vendors, interior designers, tech people. I mean, maybe not the hot tub place, but you know what I'm saying. These businesses are working with high-end clients right now who want to fill their homes and make them comfortable and beautiful. They've been putting it off because of busy jobs. Well, now they're working from home. Now they're staying home, and they want their home to be their safe haven. So let's talk about a few examples of my students who have pivoted and done amazing things. So Julie Clyde, in the middle of the pandemic, began photographing food to help restaurants promote their takeout services during the lockdown. She's located in Australia, and so the restaurant submitted the image to the Australian version of like Uber Eats. Okay, well, that was a hit because the president of this company called her and asked her to photograph all 26,000 restaurants. 26,000 restaurants. Now, she obviously can't do all of those, but Julie is amazing. She's making a killing on this. She's traveling her region, and of course, this is spilling over to her other business. She does these beautiful whimsical portraits as vendors aim to partner with her. So there are ways to use other businesses to help you build your own. Marcella Limon and her magazine, she pitched to her local Chamber of Commerce a brilliant idea to create a magazine of local businesses during COVID-19. And this was an idea that came out of our 5CC mastermind. We all worked together And then Marcella really took it and ran with it. She photographs each business, tells their story. They offer a coupon to their business inside the magazine. The chamber sells the magazine with coupons to local residents to celebrate small business in the community. Marcella's wins, businesses win, the chamber wins, customers win. And as a matter of fact, one of my other students who I just talked to from the Sacramento area in California, she's doing a similar thing. There's an app in her local area for businesses to do coupons. Well, now she's doing the same thing with to have a magazine that accompanies the app. Brilliant thinking. And now, of course, the app developer is thrilled with that. They want to have her shoot it all. Of course, she's going to make friends with all these businesses, and it's going to help her business thrive, especially when COVID and the pandemic begins to calm down a little bit. So yes, I know leveling up is, it means price increases and fear, and there are some lower end clients who might shun you. You have to be okay with this. And like I said in the beginning of this class, you have to take a risk. The fear of losing your clients is very real, okay? But it can be done. And number 3 is all about up-leveling your profits without shocking your clients, okay? A good pricing model that offers your clients what they want while selling what you need to sell is the best of both worlds. It's much better to lose clients that can't spend with you anyways than hang on just because it's comfortable in what you know, right? Fewer clients with higher level of service and higher sales average means less work for more money. And by marketing to a new ideal client, you'll shift naturally into higher profits as long as the brand matches the price. And that is the key, guys. The brand has to match the price. Now, we have some questions. I want to address them before we move on too much. Blanca says, so you're saying we help businesses by doing free work for them? You can do that, or you can do it at a reduced price. Now, if you're already a commercial photographer and you have an established brand, then by no means don't do it for free. But if you're just beginning to transition into this type of work, I'm doing it for free right now in a lot of situations. But I'm doing it in exchange for an ability to market to that business's clients. So it's kind of free, but it's not, because those businesses are pushing me to their clientele who are my ideal clients, and I'm getting clients out of it. So yes, it's an exchange, but they're marketing their business and earning business that way using my images, and I'm getting their clients to come into me for portraits. Make sense? So it is a trade in essence. All right. Christina says, does the chamber buy the magazines from Marcella, or does she donate them? I believe they're going to be buying them. This is all new, and honestly, I haven't talked to Marcella about that, but it's just been approved, so she's in the process of doing it at the moment. So, Christina, I can't fully answer that question, but I do know that the plan is to at least break even on them, and then gain that partnership in return. Helen says, I also do real estate, but doesn't that dilute my family shoots, though? I'm not sure, Helen. I think it just depends on how much real estate you do. If you're doing so much real estate that you don't have time to do your family portraits, then yes. But you can ebb and flow and give and take based on how you're booking for your family portraits. I think I'm answering that question. If I'm not, ask again. Louisa said, would you ever show us your price list in full? Is that something we get in 5cc? Louisa, I don't show my entire price lists, but I do have a lot of it in 5cc. But then we also offer our complete pricing package for sale on our site. It's called the Studio Pricing Suite. So a lot of photographers use that as their base to work off of, and then they tweak things. But yeah, the pricing guide includes all my pricing and all the wording and everything that I use daily in my studio to show prices to clients. Blanca said, thanks. I've been pondering this idea. I'll work on something this weekend and reach out to them. I love that, Blanca. That's awesome. Tell us how it goes, would you? I'd be eager to hear that. All right, let me keep going here. Come on. Here we go. Hang on one second here. All right. Let's go to the next slide so I'm not boring you guys all. There we go. Okay. So one of the things you also need to do in terms of when it comes to shifting your price point up higher and bringing in services, I mean, services are what people think of as valuable. So, yes, when you're doing shoot and burn only at a lower price point and then you jump up higher, You have to have those services and the brand and the tangible product to match the price. But that also makes you look different. So by raising your prices, offering tangible product, increasing your services, design, installation, consultations, IPS, all that kind of thing, wardrobe consultation, you've just added not only tangible product, but also incredible handholding and service to your clients. So it has value. And when clients see something as having value, they're willing to pay for it, number one. And number two, you're going to look different because you're going to be one of the few people in your market actually doing this. So it's naturally going to attract a higher end clientele. Will it take some time for that to get known? Of course. Are you going to have to pound the pavement and build relationships and do these other kinds of projects to help get you in with other vendors who can get you into that higher level market? Yes, it takes legwork. You have to, quote, do the work. And that's my motto in 5cc is do the work and hold yourself accountable. It's not easy, but it's doable. And there is a path and a way to do it. It's just a matter of getting out there and getting it done. But a lot of it means shifting your mindset to kick your inner critic to the curb. We tend to get all kinds of up in our face. I mean, George, your inner critic likes to have a friggin' family reunion in your head for this kind of stuff, okay? Especially this year. It's given us a lot of uncertainty. And what uncertainty does when we don't know what's going to happen, that triggers the fear or stress response. Adrenaline, cortisol, all these things start to well up as in this steady stream of stress hormones that influences how we think. And so this amplifies more and more if you keep letting those thoughts circulate, okay? You have to mindfully take control of it, or the stimulus itself has to stop. And I'm sorry, but COVID 19 isn't going anywhere anytime soon. That uncertainty is going to stick around. So we have to learn to control it ourselves, be mindful of it, okay? Anxiety also induces confusion, scattered thoughts, and no motivation to move forward because it's that fight or flight response. You're either scattered and running for your life, or you're just like unmotivated and frozen because you're fight or flight, right? You're freezing. So watch your thoughts. When you have these anxious feelings, ask yourself, what am I thinking that's causing these feelings? And when you can isolate those thoughts and kind of watch them, don't judge them. That's really important. Just kind of watch them behave in your head and the way your brain wants to think about this stuff. That's what I call watching your thoughts. And it's super helpful in gaining some control over anxiety and uncertainty and that motivation. Sometimes I'll just sit here and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm thinking about how I don't want to do my work today. Wow, I'm really unmotivated. What else am I thinking? I start to just be curious about my thoughts, and that keeps my judgment from getting out of control, and it helps those thoughts wane. But all this leads to surviving with solopreneur syndrome. If you're doing business on your own, you have probably experienced solopreneur syndrome. It is a feeling of loneliness. It's a feeling of unmotivation. It's a feeling of detriment, like I'll never make it. I'm not good enough. I don't know what I'm doing. Imposter syndrome. Those kind of all wrap up into solopreneur syndrome, and it's very deadly to your business. How many of you have felt this in your career? I have, certainly imposter syndrome. Oh my God, all the time, still to this day, and solopreneur syndrome. Now, I'm lucky in that I have my sister, I have Beth, I have people, and I have my wonderful mastermind members in 5cc. I can just get on Zoom and like hang out with people, and my mood immediately lifts. I can hang out with people who get it, like who understand me, who know what I'm going through, and that, oh my God, that hellion client who just ordered 5,000 Christmas cards and now wants them reprinted. You know, they they know my pain. They know, right? Been there, done that, got that t-shirt. Yes, it is. Amy says it's overwhelmed, questioning everything you do, thinking, why am I even trying? We all have those thoughts. And it will kill your business because your ability to problem solve creatively gets squished when you have solopreneur syndrome. Your ideas get kind of stale and boring because you're never stimulated, right? It's daunting at times, and your inner critic has a much easier time controlling you and maintaining that stress response because you're in solopreneur syndrome and those thoughts start to cascade. They start to just go and go and they don't shut the heck up, right? Clearly, I've been there. But business owners who hang out with others have a lot less stress. Our significant others and spouses just don't understand. They can't provide the feedback and open mind we desperately need. Now, granted, they're wonderful. My husband's great, but he just doesn't quite get it. His business is a lot different than mine. And, I love him to death, but he's not the most empathetic person. I mean, some men are, but they just they're all about fixing the problem. They don't want to let me wallow in my in my pain, right? But others who walk in your shoes, they know where you've been and they can guide you positively. And the key is to find a positive group of people who can help you do that. Or these people can just give you ideas that spark new ideas. And that's how Marcella got her magazine idea. Because we were talking about doing a magazine, and then she just started rolling with it. And then I had an idea, and then Becky had an idea, I think, and Carla did. I forget who it was. But we all started going, oh, yeah, and you could do this, and you could do this. And all of a sudden, we got a snowball running down a hill that's brilliant. And we're all sitting here going, ah, angels singing, right? It's fabulous. So, and that's the beauty of having even just one person who's in your shoes, who can help you pull you out of a hole when you're feeling sunk, who can rise up in the clouds with you when you're winning, and someone who can be there for you to give you ideas when you're stumped, okay? So an objective viewpoint from a qualified person who is unbiased and trustworthy is worth its weight in gold. So even if you don't join us in 5cc, find your circle of peers who can be your cheerleaders, confidants, shoulders to cry on, etc. Now, I am going to be, here I am on Facebook. This sounds totally hypocritical, but be careful with Facebook. A lot of these Facebook groups, they're free. They can be very shallow. Facebook itself is just distracting, right? Hello. And sometimes the veil of the internet, when you can't see someone's face, you don't talk to them all the time, the comments can be very backhanded, passive aggressive, and not from qualified people. And remember, folks who are in these free groups who are qualified, they're not just going to hand out their information for free, right? They're not just going to throw it at you and go, here, do this, this, and this. I mean, like an educator like me, this is hard-earned information that I have spent millions of dollars earning over the years, and I'm not just going to spew it out on Facebook. Now, do I give a lot? Yeah. Everyone always accuses me of giving too much. Maybe that's my personality. But the info that most people give on most free Facebook groups, it's selective, right? I'm not just going to share with because I have no idea who's in the group, right? And often it's diluted and you have no idea who is there in Facebook. And then on top of that, Facebook is so selective in what it shows you. I mean, you guys all know this. It drives me nuts. And that's kind of why we took 5cc off Facebook, because you'd put a post in and then you'd never get any notifications that someone responded to your post. I mean, it's crazy how selective the algorithm is. So a mastermind is a group of people who have the same vested interest in you in growing their business. And there's something magical about that, particularly a paid mastermind. You are invested, you mean to grow, you have a little skin in the game, and the people there with you are there for the same reason. It's a place where the education is absolutely free-flowing and its members are open books. They're help not publicly available to just anyone. And I know most people think masterminds, but it doesn't have to be, especially if it's online. Now, an in-person mastermind, you betcha, that is expensive. But an online mastermind can be amazing. So in this class, and of course, I'm going to tell you all about how to join ours, but you have learned how the market has shifted during a pandemic and what potential clients are spending on and how the economy has divided classes of people somewhat significantly. Now, granted, I'm making blanket statements. I get that, and there's always a bell curve to everything, but it is very interesting to see how the economy has shifted. We've talked about 3 ways to adjust your business to move into today's market, how to raise your prices without clients freaking out, adding services and value and product makes clients go, oh, wow, she's really up-leveling her business. Yeah, she is a lot more worth it. I may not be able to afford it now, but down the road, yes. And let me tell you, I have been in my market now for 11 years. No, 12 years? I lost count. And I have clients who, in the beginning, couldn't afford me, but now they're coming. And they're saying, I have wanted to use you for years. We're finally in a place where we can, and I'm so excited. So think long game. I know it's tough when you're financially strapped, but if you can think long game, you're going to be way better off big picture wise in your business that if you're just in it for the short-term sprint. We also learned how not to let 2020 get the best of your head and how to conquer that self-doubt. Really watch your thoughts. Be mindful of what you're thinking. Meditate. Try to control that anxiety. And let me tell you, manifestation, I know this sounds really woo-woo, and you can call me crazy, and I was not this way before I got my vertigo, but meditating and really putting your mind towards what you want and manifesting that is so powerful. And we in 5cc use something called a bullet journal. Do I have my, yeah, just one second, let me grab it. We use a very analog, you don't have to, I mean, not everybody in 5cc does this, but the ones who are really successful, chances are they have a bullet journal. And we do a lot of manifestation. This is my brand new printed bullet journal, which you get for free in 5cc should you join us. And you can just print out these spreads and put them in your own bullet journal. And of course, create your today, your to-do actions. This keeps me so on track. Like Beth Beth complains at me when I like fall off the wagon and I don't use it as much. She's like, "You're so much less productive when you're not using your bullet journal." She's like, it's really funny. She gets after me, but yeah, but by writing down what we want, setting goals, we have I have this list as my dream jar and then my gratitude journal. I still have to fill out my gratitude because I literally just reprinted this like a few weeks ago. But by putting this stuff down, it makes it a reality. And the last 2 years I've been doing a bullet journal, I have looked back at my dream jar and everything I put in my dream jar came true. And that is just so incredibly powerful to me. But it's so fun to be able to write down everything that I have going on, cross it off on the list, manifest my dreams, set my goals quarterly and yearly. We do this together in 5cc. We have quarterly goal setting meetings where we write down everything we want to accomplish in those 3 months. And then, of course, in January, we're going to do our annual goal setting and planning, marketing calendars, all kinds of stuff. And the beautiful thing is everybody's on the same page. So everybody's going to be doing it. So everybody can help each other. It's so amazing. It's yeah, clearly I'm biased. Okay. But yeah, and part of that is finding like-minded business owners who can help get you through this stuff, who are working on the same things that you are. There's such a difference in that. So of course, I am going to introduce you to the 5 Carat Collective. It is closing tonight at midnight. If you would like to join us, you have until midnight tonight to do so. It is our online monthly mastermind. We have weekly live meetings. We join and everybody's on the screen, not like this chat stuff. It's all us faces. We get to know everyone. We troubleshoot, we connect, we talk on specific topics. Of course, we have social events. Wine night is next Thursday. Woohoo! We love wine night. What happens in wine night stays in wine night. We also have surprise classes. Some of our members have even taught some classes on great topics, software, things I have no idea about. It's been so fun to see their perspective as well. And of course, I teach on Photoshop, shooting, creativity. Beth did a Gone to the Dogs class. And then, of course, one of the most valuable things is the core content. My Market Like You Mean It flagship class and Sell Like You Mean It are both inside the membership, and they are part of it. So you pay your monthly fee. You can watch all this content. We do monthly discussions about each module to move you forward and all that content. As a matter of fact, one of our members, Thomas, is, oh gosh, it's pouring down rain. Thomas is starting a Zoom group meeting where everybody who wants to go back to old core content can get in a study group together, which I think is just amazing. Like I said, we have those goal setting and accountability workshops. Our motto around here is do the work. We problem solve, set quarterly goals, and help you achieve them. So much more. You can learn more about 5cc at 5ccollective.com. And of course, I know you all want to know how much is it. It is $39 a month. You can cancel at any time. I know everybody tells me it's too cheap, but I have decided to keep it. It started at $35 a month back when we launched a year ago. But I've decided to keep it at $39 a month because of what's happening with the economy and the pandemic now. And I would really like to see more of you succeed next year and change things. And then, of course, the price will go up. But once you join at your rate, you've locked that rate in for as long as you are a member. Okay, so join us. It's closing soon, midnight tonight, Pacific time. Chelsea just asked me. So yeah, and I'm of course going to go ahead and take comments. Of course, everybody is so sweet. You guys are all so cute. Look, and you know what? This is okay. So here, I'm going to get all weepy. Okay, so you guys, I did this exact same class on Tuesday, and I just want to tell you that almost all the 5cc members who were there on Tuesday are here today as well. It's the same content, but yet they are here showing up for me. And that just means so much to me that they are here cheering this on because that's how much they believe in it. And yeah, I'm sorry, it makes me a little emotional. But to see all these familiar faces who are all in 5cc and for them to say how much they love it and that it's worth it just means the world to me. And it man, what a boost of confidence. All right, let me see if I can keep going with questions. Crystal has a great question. Are you worried about installation at home with liability issues? This is a fabulous question. My husband typically does installation for me, and he is a general contractor, so I don't have to run into this problem. One thing you might want to consider doing is hiring a handyman to do it. So it would probably cost about $100, $150 to have a handyman come and do a wall display, right? Is my guess. But then you charge $350 or $400 to do it, which is a service and a benefit to the client. And you bring that handyman out there with you. You form a relationship with him, et cetera, et cetera. And then, of course, you won't have to be dealing with those liability issues. Beth said, yes, we have full roundtable pricing discussions. Last week, we did an entire album pricing discussion. We did. It was very fun. All right, let's see. Jennifer says, yes, this is why I joined 5cc. Amy says, we're pretty great. We are. So are you, Amy. Amy's rad. Catherine, again, that's why 5cc is awesome. So many like-minded people. And I always thought I was alone with thoughts and problems. Turns out there are people who go through the same. Oh, yeah. So all of us. And when you realize that and you're in the boat with them, and here's the thing about 5cc. It is not a Debbie Downer fest at all. Now, granted, can you get in there and say, I'm feeling like crap today, I need some help? You betcha. And you will have an army of people like lifting you up. But we also expect you to get out of your own way. We also expect you to like, come on, you can do it. You're going to get pushed. You're not going to get coddled. Does that make sense? We don't do victims in 5cc. We do people who are goal setting, accountable, who really want this, but need that support. That's what 5cc is about. And I am so incredibly, just proud of these people who are just, they pick their butts off the ground every day, even when it sucks, and they do it. And they may complain, and they may hurt, and they may need help, but by golly, they freaking put a smile on their face, and they do it. And I truly believe that's half the reason they're so successful, is because they are willing to put their mind in the right place. We all go through rough times. We all have challenges. But the question is, can we move past that challenge? Can we move past that mindset? And that's what 5cc is about, is helping people do that. Let's see. There is no Solopreneur Syndrome allowed in 5cc anymore. Thank goodness for that. We have a vaccine for that. Right, Becky? There's a vax for that. I love it. We're going to totally use that as our motto. There's a vax for that. Courtney says, so true, Becky Fury. I hated talking to my husband about it because he checked out. I love 5cc to talk about any part of the business. And what's awesome is like wine night, sometimes we'll talk about nothing and make fools of ourselves. Speaking of which, okay, so those of you who were on wine night last month, remember when I bought that taxidermy mouse? Remember that was sitting on the toilet? Isn't that the one I got? I think so. I can't remember. I had a lot of wine. But anyway, it arrived, and I haven't opened it yet. I'm waiting, like Angie would, to open a box on wine night, and I will show you guys what my little mouse looks like. We're crazy. We do crazy stuff on wine night, but it's all a lot of fun. It's all in good fun. Catherine, my husband just asked nowadays, do you need an answer to that or just one event? Yes, and of course you can join today at 5ccollective.com. Thank you to whoever posted that. Kathleen says, so true about Facebook. Julia is honest and helpful, and we love her in 5cc. Thanks, you guys. Thank you, thank you. I'm just looking to see if we have any other questions here. Let's see. If you're looking for a place to grow, I don't know who this is because I can't see a profile picture, but if you're looking for a place to grow your business and have supportive network all over the world, 5cc is an amazing resource for businesses at all levels. I spend more at Starbucks a month than it costs to be a 5cc member. Yes, I know I have a problem. Well, whoever you are, I have that same problem, except it's Dutch Brothers. Every day. It's a habit. Okay, let's see. Courtney says, I find I'm off of Facebook so much more because I have one credible resource for 5cc for all my business needs. Not the time suck and a bitch session that Facebook is, but real actionable processes and feedback. Right, Courtney? I am the same way. I am on Facebook a couple times. I mean, obviously with the 25 days of design and I do have to keep tabs on that Facebook group, but I agree with you absolutely 100%. It's just a different world inside 5cc. Esther asks, any members in 5cc from Europe that I could PM? Yes, we have several from Europe, UK, Catherine's in Germany. So I'm sure Catherine wouldn't mind, Esther, if you private messaged her. I don't know who else is on here who's from abroad, but yeah, we have several from Europe, Australia, New Zealand, now from Brazil, South Africa. We have one. It's so exciting. All right. Jennifer asks, where do I find the journal spreads in 5cc? In the community, Jennifer, and I will go ahead and bump that post, or Amy, my 5cc historian, might be able to find it and bump it for us so that you can download it, but it is in there. Courtney says, yes, can you believe that we spend more on coffee, right? Oh, never mind, she found it, great. Yay, Beth says, yay, 5cc, don't walk, run, and get involved. And Beth makes a good point. The key is to get involved. If you really want to make the best of the membership, you have to be inside. You have to be talking with me. You have to be getting on the lives. You have to be doing the assignments. And you don't have to do it. You can do it at your own pace. We just want forward progression. And you don't have to keep up with everybody. Everybody's at their own thing. Like nobody's trying to like do everything all together at once. It's a mixed bag, I guess is what I'm saying. Some people are doing the same things at the same time, but most people aren't. And that's the beauty of it, is everybody can be doing their own thing at their own pace, but still get that support they need. Let's see, Max said, 5cc is a life changer. I'm finally doing all the things I've been talking about doing for years. Everybody is so welcoming and helpful. You will love it and be so happy you joined. Thank you, Max. Max is killing it. Her work is so beautiful. She's getting so good. And her website is so much better than it used to be. I'm so proud of you, Max. It's beautiful. You guys are so sweet. Who would cancel? Amy, you're cute. Well, some people do have to cancel. Remember, we lost Genevieve because her job got cut, and it was such a sad thing when we lost Genevieve. But yeah, I know she'll be back. She'll be back when she can. All right. How many people are roughly in 5cc? How personal is it, please? That's a great question, and maybe my members can answer for you. But there's about 300 of us in 5cc. Our online meetings generally have about 25 people on them at one time, 25 to 30 at the most. Sometimes we'll have 50 or 60. It depends if it's a really popular class or a really popular live. Like our goal setting workshops tend to be more busy than others. But I try to keep the lives small, and I've always told everyone that if they get too big, then what I'll be doing is doing 2 separate times so we can keep the lives intimate. But everybody's on the screen at once, and we all talk through it. I know it may seem like it's chaos, but it's not. We all stay on mute unless we need to talk. We use the chat box. We use people just go, hey, I want to say something, and then it's moderated, and we're all good. It's how personal is it? I mean, I think that's a question that my members should answer. I am very personally vested. I am in 5cc every day in the community. Like I said, I go live at least once a week, sometimes twice, and sometimes impromptu. Sometimes I'm just, feeling down myself and I want to talk to my friends, and so I hop on live in 5cc, and there's a little notification button. As a matter of fact, I will show you what the inside of 5cc looks like. Let me go back to here and get on my window for a second, and then I'll show you guys exactly what it looks like for those of you who are on the fence here, and you can kind of see, because there's nothing like seeing the inside to really know what's happening, right? All right. So let me go ahead. Oh, goodness. Come on, system. Be nice to me. It is absolutely pouring outside, and it never rains this hard over here. It's kind of funny. I have a metal roof, which is clearly a piece of junk roof because I have leaks going on everywhere. I can hear like the water dripping back there. This goes to show I have this beautiful studio, but it leaks like crazy in the rain. Oh, problems, right? And of course, it's super dark outside because of the clouds. But anyway, okay. So this is 5cc, all right? So there's two areas of 5cc. There is the core content area, which is what we're looking at now. When you're new, you want to watch the video. You also want to sign up for a concierge member to give you a tour. We have some wonderful concierge members, Becky, Courtney, Amy, Carla, Thomas. They're all on, and they will meet with you on Zoom and give you a tour and show you how to find stuff and where things are located and introduce you to people so you don't feel so lonely or like you're a new person at the party. That's the worst thing. Don't you hate that when you're like, show up to a party and you're a wallflower because you don't know anybody? Well, we don't want that to happen. So our concierge member will kind of show you around, introduce you to folks, and make you feel warm and welcome. We also have our success path, which is kind of where you should be going in your business to help grow. And then we have our core content. Our Clarity Collaborative was a series of recorded lives we did during lockdown. And this really helped folks get back on their feet once the world opened up again. And Clarity Collaborative was truly probably a pivotal moment for 5cc, where a lot of us really changed the way we do business, and we changed how we operate in getting things done and doing the work. Then my flagship course, Market Like You Mean It, is also here, so you can click on that and see all the different modules: curate your client, carve out the competition, command your brand, learn to communicate, and then, of course, get those, acquire those clients. And then Sell Like You Mean It is, we have 2 more modules to release, which will come in the next few months. But how to do booking phone calls, cultivate a product line, calculate your costs and pricing, consult with your client. Then we're going to do a core content that's coming late fall or early January, which will be all about cracking the sales room code and actually how to do an in-person sales appointment. And then all about your policies and paperwork. And next year, our systems content. So this is content all about building systems in your business: workflow, backup and storage, customer service, client image workflow, session workflow. All of that will be covered in Systems Like You Mean It, and then, of course, more to come. Then we have our archived live sessions. So these are all the lives that we have recorded that are content for you to go back and watch at your leisure. So there's some surprise, fun classes in here. There's like how to write copy. So we're going to talk about how to, do good copy in your collateral and things like that. But then the most wonderful place about 5cc is the community. So if you click Access Community, you'll be taken to the second area of 5cc, which is probably where most of our relationships and the lack of solopreneur, or like the vaccine for solopreneur syndrome, I should state. So the home feed is all the posts that have been posted that day or over the last few weeks, and everybody comments and helps, et cetera, et cetera. Then we have our discovery section, which is basically all the different content inside of the community. So our welcome section, you obviously get discount codes off of all of my collateral products, as well as different lessons and worksheets, our cancellation policies, the rules. We have a mobile app, and then our member bonuses, as well as upcoming events that are coming up. We're doing the second part of our product line challenge that's coming Monday. We're doing, I have an RSVP for wine night. Holy cow, I am going. Heck yeah. Wine night's the best night of the month. We're doing our meet and greet the night before that. And then, of course, we have our complimentary mastermind retreat that is included as a benefit of membership if you have been a member for 6 months or longer, which those of you joining today will be eligible for. What is the mastermind retreat? The mastermind retreat is an in-person event here in Bend, Oregon. It's 2 days of business education and camaraderie with your fellow 5cc members. We have tons coming. Hopefully the pandemic will not prevent us from doing this, but it is basically free. All you have to do is get here and we're going to spend the weekend doing goal setting for the last half of the year, focusing on our business, doing a little shooting and creativity, having fun, going out to dinner, enjoying each other's company, and just really, it's a retreat. It's like get yourself in the right place with your fellow 5cc members to finish out the year strong. And then, of course, we have all of our topics as well as our top posts, and we have different groups. So say, for example, you really want to be held accountable. You join this group. New members should join this one so you can get your concierge tour. And then, of course, we have all kinds of featured posts, etc. So 5C, that's kind of a sneak peek inside 5cc. You can post videos, you can post pictures, you can post all kinds of content in here, links, GIFs. It's a lot of fun. We have a great time. All right, so let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and continue with the questions. Let me see here. It looks so dark on my screen because of the cloud cover. So Louisa, I hope that answers your question. Kind of a long answer to your simple question, but hopefully that does that. She says, it sounds amazing. You're so great, inspirational. Thank you, honey. I appreciate that very much. Blanca says, is it closing tonight? Yes, it is. Now, a lot of people ask me, why don't you just leave enrollment open? Well, there's a couple reasons. Number one, it's too hard for me to constantly have an influx of people into the membership. I tend to let people in once a year and sometimes twice a year, I'm thinking, but for now, it's pretty much once a year. And I do a full month of launch, and my time is consumed with that, and then I want to go back to like helping everybody in 5cc. So to keep on top of both, as you know, just me and Chelsea is just too much. So that's one reason. Secondly, it's tough for me when people join and leave. And so to keep my income relatively consistent, we keep it so that membership is only open for a limited time and only once a year. Okay. All right. Let's see here. You guys are so cute. Courtney, I love you. How you feeling, Courtney? You doing good? Courtney is, we've been all pushing behind Courtney because she's been dealing with breast cancer this year, and we absolutely adore her. So everybody's always cheering on Courtney, and she's doing great. At least last I heard. So double check with me and make sure. Just give me a check-in, would you? Beth says, to answer this last question, it's as personal as you make it, to be honest. The more involved you are, the more personal it will be to you. And she's absolutely right. She's absolutely right. Okay. Kathleen likes it better than Netflix. Although I have to admit, I just started the show from Shay McGee, Studio McGee, called Dream Home Makeover on, and Shay McGee is like one of my favorite interior designers. So she now has this show on Netflix, and I literally binged watched it. Let's see. Bev says, I don't shoot newborns anymore in very few families. My community is 1,500 people. Will 5cc help my business? Absolutely. There are maybe 30%, 40% newborn in there. Everybody else is everything else. I mean, Amy does newborns. Courtney does newborns. But, I mean, yeah, there's newborn photographers here, but you don't need to be a newborn photographer to be there. The business content helps you no matter your genre. We have lots of senior photographers. We've got wedding. We've even got landscape folks. So, I mean, it's all about business. So I don't think you need to worry about that, Bev. But hopefully that answers your question. And you should talk to a couple 5cc members who may volunteer here who are not baby photographers who can kind of attest to that. Let's see, Amy, it's the best place to go for friends and family who know how you feel and lift you up just by hearing you talk, right? I tell you, there's been a couple Mondays where I just hop on and like everyone gets on and lifts me up, and it's the best yet. It's the best yet. Courtney, you don't shoot newborns? Wait, come on. I thought you did. Sorry. Yes, Beth says we have family, pet, senior, event, sports, commercial, and wedding photographers. You name it, we got it. It's true. We do. The mouse. You guys, we're going to open them up next Thursday. It'll be so fun. It's going to be a little weird. We probably need to have several glasses of wine before we do that because, ew. Taxidermy mouse? Ew. Okay, let's see here. Courtney says, haven't been able to go to wine night in so long. I'm excited about my surgery because I will be able to. Yay! I'm so excited, Court. There's Marcella. Hi there. All right. Happy to chat. Allison's from the UK. She's happy to chat. I'm just trying to answer any questions, scroll through, make sure I'm not missing any questions from folks. It's so fun to read all this and see all the beautiful comments about 5cc. It makes me feel so good. But yeah, I mean, Catherine, like, this is so common, and I'm the same way. She said, I feel kind of bad I haven't been as active in 5cc last week because I was busy, and guess why? Was flooded with work, and that's okay. Like, come in and out, fluctuate in and out. There's going to be times when you're going to be in there a lot, and times when you're not. It's kind of like business. Some months you have tons of clients, and some months it's dead. It's the way it is, No worries. Christine says, I just joined. I'm starting out. I don't know where to begin. So excited to learn from this group. Christine, I'm so glad you're with us. Yay! Come to the new members meeting next week, Wednesday the 18th, and introduce yourself. We'll get to see you, meet and greet, and you'll get to know everyone. All right. And Courtney has good advice. Go to the core content and watch the welcome video. I agree. And you're always welcomed back. Life happens. It's the way it is. Excellent. Okay. Ooh, Marcella's so cute. Hang on. We just feel safe in 5cc and get very personal because there is no drama ever. Yes, ma'am. That is absolutely the case. I am anti-drama. If you're drama, you're out. It's as simple as that. I don't like drama. It's very personal. I'm not as active as some, and Julia still knows me and my progress. Yes, I do. I don't know everybody, but I do try to keep on top of as many people as I can. It's tough with 300 sometimes, but I care deeply about everyone. And if you make it personal, it will be. You decide. Julia shares so much, and so do most of our members. We really do. Okay. You guys are so cute. Okay, I'm just reading. It was something I didn't know. The live video area. Beth, thank you for stating all the genres students are involved in. My genre is very limited due to my location. I can totally understand that, Beth. Hi, Thomas. Okay, let's see here. You guys are just having all these great conversations between you, and I love it. I'm like, ooh, what can I pop in? Catherine has a very good point. It's just in your head. It might seem like you're losing clients to cheap photographers, but it's not true. You're right. Stay true to yourself and keep only looking out for yourself. The journey is harder. I'm not going to be the lie, but the outcome is, in the long run, is so rewarding. Those cheap ones won't stay in business long because they're not profitable. So true, Catherine. So true. And the clients out there who want our services want our services. They don't want shoot and burn. I really feel like, in the beginning when shoot and burn first came out, it was like this pendulum that swung in that direction, and like everybody went there. But now it's swinging back, and I feel like there's a lot of clients out there who don't want that because they recognize and they realize that they don't do anything with those images, and they're stuck. And you know how many clients I've had hand me a DVD from another photographer and say, "Can you put these in an album for me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." and that tells me right there's a switch. There's a pendulum swinging. I probably get that request 3 or 4 times a year. For someone will take another USB from another photographer, hand it to me, and go, "Can you make me an album?" Says a lot. It says a lot. Let's see. Kathleen said, I made an average of 1,400 in just 5 clients because of the support from 5cc and IPS. Yes. Yes, Kathleen. Woo! We need some applause for that. Yay! Kathleen, that is awesome. See those? Yes, win. We always celebrate wins in 5cc. I love it. Okay, you guys are awesome. There we go. Louisa just signed up. Yay! We need an applause for that. I love it. Louisa, that's great. Congratulations. I can't wait to meet you. See you on the inside, of course. Catherine says, I was a shoot and burner for 3 months and then discovered Julia and learned all about IPS and never looked back. That sounds like me, Catherine. I totally did online sales because shoot and burn wasn't a thing back then. When I started, it was more like just selling prints and images online. And I did that, and it was terrible. It didn't last long. Awesome. Okay, let's see. Becky says, Bev, my area is special. I'm the first one to admit it, but it just depends on if you're okay looking beyond and thinking out of the box. Do you have surrounding areas that are larger? So true, Bev. It's about thinking creatively and looking at studying your market, because every market is different, and that's one thing I am a big believer in. I don't think everyone should have the same business model. Now, granted, some people will have a similar business model, but like Becky, for example, Becky is in a very unique area, and the way I help her with her marketing is way different than, say, for example, Amy in her market. Um, Becky's in a very small town. There's a lake around the town. There's a military school on the end of the lake. She's working with the military school. So there's a lot of like really unique parameters in Becky's market. But it still doesn't mean she can't have a viable business. As a matter of fact, Becky does amazing. She's $4, $5, $10,000 sales all the time, all the time. But her market is unique, and she will admit that. But again, it's about really studying your market, researching where those people are, how to find them, who's working with them, and what they're after. What are their ideal wants and needs? What are their pain points? What are their objections? And solve those problems for them. And then when you do that, that's going to make you invaluable to them, and you're going to be the number one in your market. It's really that simple. And see, Bev, yes, and you've had clients come 3 hours to see you. That's an excellent sign. That means they're willing to do it. We just need to tap into more of that. I totally am loving that. That's amazing. Okay, let's see. Oh, Marcella, you're so sweet. To everyone considering joining 5CC, it will be the best thing you can do for your business. What's the point of taking beautiful images if you don't know how to sell them properly and how to keep your business going so you can keep your passion rolling? Do yourself a favor and join. Julia is a guru that will guide you with what you're struggling and all the members' knowledge and the friendships you'll develop, and 5CC becomes an invaluable resource. I'll never leave, honestly. Oh, thank you, Marcella. I love you, sweetheart. You're such a good friend now, and such an amazing resource for us too, because you're brilliant as well. Marcella she's so sharp, and she thinks of ideas a lot of us don't think of, and we're like, oh, that's brilliant. Awesome. Okay, well, it doesn't look like we have any more questions at this point. I'm going to go ahead and log off, but one more time, go to 5ccollective.com and join us. It's $39 a month. We do close tonight at midnight. If you have any friends who you think might be excited to join, tell them about it quickly, because it is coming to a close, so I can go back to educating and working on more core content. Oh, Kelly says, I joined and I'm looking forward to diving in. I have an 8 to 5 job and looking to do photography full time, but I have not taken that step because I don't want to make the wrong steps. So I'm looking forward to building from the start to where I can leave the 8 to 5 completely. Oh, Kelly, you are not alone. Amy Pusher, I'm sure, would love to connect with you because she is in the same boat. But yeah, we will get you there, and we will have you do it right. And it's going to be exciting and fun along the way. Business can be really fun. It's just a matter of seeing it differently and having a different perspective. And when you're with a group of people who have that same perspective as you, it definitely helps. Okay, you guys, thanks so much for joining me today. Good luck, and thank you for joining us in the 25 Days of Design and the Product Line Challenge. Those will remain on the Facebook page. This video is coming down tonight at midnight, so I encourage you, join 5ccollective.com, and we will see you on the inside. And again, pivot in 2021. You can do it. You really can. You can make things different, and now is such an incredible time to do that. I know sometimes it seems scary when things are uncertain and there's change, but that's when it is the right time to change, because everybody's expecting you to change. We all have to change in order to make our businesses grow. I'm pivoting. Everyone in 5CC is pivoting, and we're so excited about it because we're starting to see the fruits of our labor come to fruition, and it is exciting to know you're on the right path and that it's going to project you forward and sky high into the success sphere. Okay, you guys, again, thank you. Love to you all. I know we were laughing today that we want to wave and blow kisses on Zoom. It's hilarious. We would never do that in a meeting, but we do it on Zoom, and that's 5CC for you. Love you all. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you inside. Bye-bye.